and thank you for joining me. Our guest today is not from our time, but their ideas are more relevant than ever. We are born into a world of endless choices, a landscape of desires and impulses that pull us in every direction. We seek happiness, but often confuse it with fleeting pleasure or momentary comfort. We long to live a good life, but are unsure of the path, mistaking our cravings for our calling and our passions for our purpose. In this search, we are often told what to do, what to believe, and what to avoid, but rarely are we taught how to be. But what if the good life is not something that happens to us, but something we actively build? What if happiness is not a feeling, but a skill developed through practice, moderation, and conscious habit? Our guest today is the man who first articulated this idea, a philosopher who saw that the path to a flourishing life is not a matter of luck or divine favor, but an achievable journey of self-cultivation. Born in the city of Stagira in ancient Greece in 384 BCE, Aristotle was a philosopher and polymath who stands as one of the most influential thinkers in Western history. At the age of 17, he traveled to Athens to study under Plato at the Academy, where he would remain for 2 decades. Though a student of Plato, he would eventually diverge from his teacher's philosophy, adopting a more empirical and grounded approach to understanding the world. After leaving the Academy, he served as a tutor to a young Alexander the Great, a role that would shape the future king. He later returned to Athens to establish his own school, the Lyceum, where he taught and conducted research in virtually every field of human knowledge, from biology and physics to politics and ethics. His vast body of work, though much of it is lost, would become the foundation of Western scientific and philosophical thought from nearly 2 millennia. Welcome to a dialogue that takes us to the heart of what it means to live a good life. Our conversation today is a deep exploration of the principles laid out in a book that is as relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago, Nicomachean Ethics. Our discussion will revolve around our guest's central argument that happiness, what he called eudaimonia, is the ultimate goal of human life, and that it is achieved not through passive enjoyment, but through the active cultivation of virtue. We will delve into his concepts of the golden mean, the ethics of virtue, and the habits of a flourishing life.
Mr. Aristoteles, thank you for joining us. Let's begin with the central idea of your work. What is the ultimate goal of human life? And what did you mean by the term eudaimonia?
The ultimate goal of human life is eudaimonia, which is often translated as happiness, but is more accurately understood as a state of human flourishing, of living well and doing well. It is not a feeling of pleasure, which is fleeting, but a condition of being, the complete actualization of a person's potential through the practice of virtue.
So, happiness is not something that happens to you, but something you actively pursue?
Exactly. Happiness is an activity of the soul in accordance with virtue. It is not a passive state, but a dynamic and active process. A person cannot become happy simply by wishing for it. They must work for it. Just as an athlete must train to achieve excellence, it is a state of being that is earned.
This brings us to your concept of virtue ethics. What is a virtue and how does one become virtuous?
A virtue, or arete, is an excellent character trait, a state of being that disposes us to act in the right way. We do not become virtuous by reading about it. We become virtuous by doing virtuous things. Courage is a virtue, and a person becomes courageous by repeatedly acting in a courageous manner, just as a musician becomes a musician by practicing their instrument. It is a state of being that is earned.
You are famous for your idea of the golden mean. What is this, and how does it help us live a virtuous life?
The golden mean is the middle ground between two vices, excess and deficiency. For example, courage is the mean between the vice of cowardice, deficiency, and the vice of recklessness, excess. Generosity is the mean between being a miser and being a spendthrift. To live a virtuous life is to find this mean in every situation.
But how does one know what the mean is in a particular situation?
The mean is not an arithmetic average. It is relative to the individual and the situation. The mean for a trained soldier in battle is different from the mean for a young boy. The virtuous person is the one who, through experience and habit, has developed the practical wisdom, or phronesis, to know what the right action is in a given situation. They have the ability to see and to feel what is appropriate.
You also wrote about the importance of friendship in a good life. Why is friendship so crucial to eudaimonia?
A human being is a social animal, and a truly flourishing life cannot be lived in isolation. I wrote of three kinds of friendship: friendship of utility, friendship of pleasure, and friendship of virtue. The highest form of friendship, that of virtue, is a relationship between two good people who wish each other well for their own sakes. This kind of friendship is a necessary component of a virtuous and happy life, as it allows us to see ourselves reflected in another and to help each other become better people.
You also believe that the pursuit of knowledge and intellectual contemplation was the highest form of happiness. Why?
The highest human faculty is reason. Therefore, the highest form of human activity is the contemplation of truth. While a life of moral virtue is essential, a life dedicated to intellectual pursuits, to philosophy, and to the contemplation of the divine is the most godlike and truly fulfilling. It is the activity that is most unique to us as human beings.
So, in your view, a good life is not about the pursuit of pleasure, but the cultivation of virtue and the pursuit of knowledge.
Pleasure is a byproduct of a virtuous life, not its purpose. We take pleasure in doing what is good and right. A virtuous person, therefore, will find pleasure in virtuous actions, just as a healthy person finds pleasure in a healthy life. The purpose is the action itself, and the pleasure is the result of a job well done.
Mr. Aristoteles, looking at the modern world, a world of instant gratification, social media, and endless distraction, what would you say is the greatest challenge to living a virtuous and flourishing life?
I would see a great challenge in the confusion between pleasure and happiness. Modern society presents a constant stream of fleeting pleasures that are easy to obtain, but which lead us away from the hard work of cultivating virtue. The greatest challenge is to resist the temptation of instant gratification and to choose a life of purpose, moderation, and discipline. The path to happiness remains the same: a steady practice of good habits, a commitment to reason, and a community of friends who will help you on your way.
Aristotle's ethics provide a timeless and practical guide to living a good life. He reminds us that happiness is not a matter of fortune or feeling, but a state of flourishing that is actively built through the consistent practice of virtue. His concept of the golden mean offers us a powerful tool for navigating the complexities of our lives. And his emphasis on friendship and intellectual pursuit reminds us of the communal and rational dimensions of a life well lived. His work challenges us to be not just good people, but excellent people, through the mindful and deliberate cultivation of our character. His thoughts may be from the past, but they are a guide for our future. Thank you for tuning in to this dialogue, and we look forward to seeing you again.